Welcome back. Our friend Yoli from Explore Jack's Core returns once again for a lesson in history. And this month, with Black History Month, we're putting the focus on remarkable people that really made some big contributions and inventions to society and the world. And today, we're talking about two, both happen to be female, geniuses, and in some regards, not really getting the credit they deserve.
Yeah. And so, the two inventors that we're going to talk about today, and when you talk about them not getting the same recognition, if you think about the time, let's go back 100 years, right, when women didn't even have the right to vote yet.
Yeah.
And so then if you're a black woman on top of that, you don't get the same notoriety as even our black male counterparts. And so today I asked the audience, who do we thank for having central heat, that's pumped into our homes individually? There's one woman that received a patent for that in 1919, and her name is Alice Walker. And
Alice Walker.
Yeah, she's born in 1885 in New York City, or New Jersey. And, she's a college grad, and her parents, they are service workers, and the first for that era. And she goes to Howard University, and she doesn't really have a degree in mechanical engineering. But anyway, she is kind of tired of working in a cold house and living in a cold house, and she comes up with a process to, and puts in a patent for it, creates a diagram to show how, for a residence, this is the first time that gas is used to heat a home centrally.
Yeah, and just think about how important that is, because prior to that, everybody just kind of huddled around a fireplace.
Correct.
Especially up north where it gets really cold.
Right, a fireplace, right. And so it's not to say that gas wasn't used in commercial or industrial, because it was, but this is the very first time that gas was used for residential. So when we talk about when we go to our thermostat these days, and when it's cold and we can just switch on thermostat, this was the first time that gas was used to heat a house individually and pumped through ductwork to the individual rooms, and she's responsible for that.
Just think about that. It's something that every day we use, and in some cases, obviously, it's AC getting pumped through the same system.
Right.
But you don't really know that. And it kind of flies under the radar and not getting the recognition that she deserves.
It definitely falls under the radar, and so that was one of the things. And the other thing is that there's no picture of her. I've searched and I did a lot of research and I found a picture, but it really wasn't her. And that's a sad part about it also. And I like to also add is that, even today we have air conditioning companies that are named after other people, after men.
Yeah.
And here's a woman that, created something, even though we know that our mechanical HVAC units are electrical, so they're not, but we still, if you're talking about up north, New Jersey, they still use gas. It's still being used today. And so.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad we're having these segments too, because there's so much that's just lost out there that, you are discovering it and sharing it with people.
And trust me, I tried to find some men, but the men, they have always, risen to the top in terms of our history books, because I wanted to keep these stories, recalling these histories diverse.
And we have another person.
Yes, we actually have, her name is Dr. Patricia Bath, and she was an ophthalmologist. So Patricia was born in 1942. She's also a Howard University graduate, and Howard University is historically black college university. And she goes on, she's a very studied, very smart young woman, and she becomes the first of many firsts. And so if you ever, in the home audience, if you know anyone with cataracts, right? My mother has had cataracts removed, and my grandmother. And so cataracts is something, I'm not a doctor, but I have had this, dealt with this with the family members, where they've had to have their cataracts removed. So this doctor, she creates a probe that makes the surgery easier. It's a laser type of device that makes it much easier to remove the cataracts and to make the speedier recovery. There were people that were blind, and because of this invention, receiving that patent.
And it's something that's very prevalent. A lot of people have that. So another major contribution. Yoli, thank you so much for coming out here, and again, just educating us on this history.
Yes, yeah.
We really appreciate it. To learn more, you go to our website, rivercitylivetv.com. We have the link there to explore Jack's Core and so much more. Right now, we're going to send it